Okay, let's go back. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage Maitreya continued. Vijitsava, the eldest son of Maharaj Prithu, who had a reputation like his father's, became emperor and gave his younger brothers different directions of the world to govern, for he was very affectionate towards his brothers. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After describing the life and character of Maharaj Prithu in the previous chapter, the great sage Maitreya began to speak about the sons and grandsons in the genealogical line of the Prithu dynasty. After the death of Maharaj Prithu, his eldest son, Vijitsava, became emperor of the world. King Vijitsava was very affectionate towards his younger brothers, and therefore he wanted them to rule different directions of the world. From time immemorial, the eldest son generally becomes king after the death of the previous king. When the Pandavas ruled the earth, Maharaj Yudhishthir, the eldest son of King Pandu, became emperor, and his younger brothers assisted him. Similarly, King Vijitsava's younger brothers were appointed to govern the different directions of the world. Okay, let's do two more verses. Verse number 2. Haryakshyadishat prachim dhruma keshaya dakshinam prachitim vikra samyagna turyam dravineshe vibhu. Haryaksha, onto Haryaksha, Adishat, delivered, Prachim, eastern. Dhumrakeshaya, onto Dhumrakesh, Dakshinam, the southern side. Prachitim, the western side. Vakra Samyagya, onto his brother whose name was Vakra. Turyam, the northern side. Dravin Nashe, onto another brother of his named Dravin, Vibhu, the master. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Vijitsava offered eastern part of the world to his brother Haryaksha, southern part to Dhumrakesha, western part to Vrik, and the northern part to Dravina. Verse 3. Antardhan gatim sakral labdhva antardhana samgitaha apatya travayam adhata shikhandiniyam susamamatam. Antardhan, of disappearance, gatim, achievement, sakrat, from King Indra, labdhva, getting, antardhan, of the name, samyagnitaha, so nominated, apatya, children, trayam, three, adhat, begot, shikhandi, naam, in Shikhandi, his wife, samattam, approved by everyone. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Formerly, Maharaj Vijitsavaha pleased the King of Heaven, Indra, and from him received the title Antardhan. His wife's name was Shikhandini, and by her he begot 3 good sons. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Vijitsava was known as Antardhan, which means disappearance. He received this title from Indra, and it refers to the time when Indra stole Prithu Maharaj's horse from the sacrificial arena. Indra was not visible to others when he was stealing the horse, but Maharaj Prithu's son Vijitsava could see him. Yet, despite his knowing that Indra was taking away his father's horse, Vijitsava did not attack him. Hare Krishna. This indicates that Maharaj Vijitsavaha respected the right persons. Although Indra was stealing the horse from his father, Vijitsava knew perfectly well that Indra was not an ordinary thief. Since Indra was a great and powerful demigod and servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vijitsavaha purposefully excused him due to sentiment only, even though Indra was acting wrongly. Thus, Indra became very pleased with Vijitsavaha at that time. Demigods have the great mystic power of being able to appear and disappear according to their will. And since Indra was very pleased with Vijitsava, he bestowed this mystic power upon him. Thus, Vijitsava became known as Antardhan. Omagyantimirandasya Gyananjanjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanyamanovistam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karna Sindhu Din Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Da Kantha Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyayi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shiva Sadika aur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Okay, very exciting, right? We start a new chapter. This chapter is very auspicious. The great sage Maitreya continued, Vijitsava, the eldest son of Maharaj Prithu, who had reputation like his father's, became emperor and gave his younger brothers different directions of the world to govern, for he was very affectionate towards his brothers. We'll open the... Maharaj Vijitsava offered the eastern part of the world to his brother Haryaksha, the southern part to Dhrumakesha, western part to Vrik, and the northern part to Dravana. Formerly, Maharaj Vijitsava pleased the king of heaven, Indra, and from him received the title Antardhan. His wife's name was Shikhandini, and by her he begot 3 good sons. Okay, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. So the last chapter we concluded the auspicious return of Maharaj Prithu's return of Maharaj Prithu to back home to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the whole process, very auspicious process, was described, and a lot of benedictions were given to anyone who actually remembers, recites, or reads the pastime of Maharaj Prithu minimum 3 times, right? Then we move on after Maharaj Prithu and his wife Archi leave back home, back to Godhead. The affairs of the material world must go on, right? So Maharaj Prithu had set the stage. He had set the order back. What was wrong before Maharaj Prithu's appearance? What was going on? Krishna, what did I do? What was going on?
King Prithu's father, Vena,
King Vena was not ruling the...
King Vena was stopping all the religious activity.
Yeah, so everything was like very confusing. All the...
had gone off.
Okay, thank you. So the law and order was disrupted. The rogues and thieves were disturbing the peace of the citizens. The people the saintly people were not able to offer oblations to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Basically, there was fear everywhere. Right, then Prithu Maharaj appeared and he set the stage. He put everything in order. And then somebody has to maintain that. So he knew that it needs to be maintained. So he gave birth to 10 boys and 1 daughter. So the oldest son's name is Vijitsava. It is interesting that it is written that Maharaj Vijitsava was just like Maharaj Prithu in terms of that he was very, very affectionate. He was extremely affectionate towards his younger brothers. In general, we see that in material world, the siblings are okay with each other until it comes to the matters of money. It's one of the qualities of people in Kali Yuga. We are all affected. It's not that people in Krishna consciousness, unless and until one becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, it's not that we are not going to be affected. So unless and until the matter comes to money, everybody is very good in talking with each other. So, but Maharaj Prithu, this example, we can see that he was preparing, he consciously prepared. So this is one very nice lesson if we can learn from this pastime, or actually I am trying to learn that one needs to consciously prepare. He gave over his kingdom to his sons. He divided, gave the designation to who's going to do what. And then he retired in a timely manner with his good wife. And then he was not like calling and checking on them again and again. Hey guys, how are you doing? Yeah, was he? Do we read that in Srimad Bhagavatam? Was he calling?
No,
or sending a messenger or accepting some sort of goodies from the home? No, he was not.
No.
So it's difficult. Hey, we may think or we may actually try to imitate the pastimes of Maharaj Prithu, but it's very difficult. Well, one thing which I have learned by reading Maharaj Prithu's pastime is consciously one needs to prepare. It's not that, okay, I'm going to just think about it when the time comes. So then what happens that everyone's psychology is set, is very nicely set, that okay, this person is a leader. And of course, these are devotees, so they are not on that level at all. But over here, we see that Maharaj Vijitsava was very affectionate towards his younger brother. And out of affection, he wanted to give them the rulings of different parts of the world. So, this compassion or affection towards younger devotees is a spiritual quality. We had a good talk on it a few weeks ago, that how compassion is actually not a material quality. Compassion is a spiritual quality. If anybody, compassion from the right place, not from sentimental compassion. Sentimental compassion, Sri Prabhupada gives an example. Do you know this example of two brothers, and one brother has typhoid, but he wants to eat the parantha? Do you know this example that Sri Prabhupada used to give to explain?
No.
Okay, so Prabhupada elaborates by giving this example. What is a real compassion and what is a sentimentalism? Prabhupada gives an example of two brothers, two young boys. One of them is suffering from typhoid. So in typhoid, because the liver is weak, so the mother is not giving him heavy food like parantha, right? He's just drinking coconut juice, coconut water, sugarcane juice, all and eating hard rock candy. But he wanted to eat parantha. So the mother is saying, no, you cannot have it because you're sick. It's not good for you. But the brother looks at the pitiful face of his sibling who's suffering from typhoid. So he sneaks in the parantha and he gives it to his younger brother who is suffering from typhoid. So we can say that that's the exchange of love, but that's not really an exchange of love because it is not coming from the right place. This is sentimentalism. Out of the sentimentalism that we are doing something. Okay, one needs to be have a very good standing and understanding and clarity of what is the meaning of the real compassion. It has to come from the right place. And the right place is which actually is beneficial to the other person. Doesn't always mean that we give in to the needs and desires of the other person that we claim to be affectionate towards. So mother, Prabhupada explains, the mother is more compassionate than the younger sibling because she's fully aware that what is good. So King Vijitsava is giving is very affectionate to his younger brother. This is not coming from the place of sentimentalism that, okay, we are born from the same father and we are Kshatriyas, so we have a need to rule. So you go in northern direction, you go in eastern direction, you go southern direction, you go western direction. It's not like that. It is coming from the real place that, okay, you being part and parcel of Krishna have this tendency to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this particular way. So let's continue serving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to our natural inclinations to do this. Okay, clear? It's clear. It's difficult to apply, very difficult to apply. But if someone is able to take a pause and think that, okay, am I being compassionate or am I being a sentimentalist here? So this is I found that very fascinating when I read that. And then Srila Prabhupada is giving an example of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So like from time immemorial, the first son is given the chance to become the emperor when the father retires or leaves the body. Only in the case of Pandavas was that not was that step not followed, because Dhritarashtra was born while Dhritarashtra was not.
He was blind, born blind.
Very nice, because he was born blind. So it's not that, okay, he was born blind from the eyes. That's not so much of a disqualification. Actually, yes, the king cannot go to fight because the king is born blind. Okay, there's some problem there. But actually, it is said that the blindness was coming from absence of bhakti towards the Lord. Okay, let's say I have multiple times said this, that in the life of devotees, there is always an external reason and an internal reason. So he was not given the chance. But Prabhupada is giving example of Yudhishthira Maharaj, that when Yudhishthira Maharaj was coronated, as after the war of Mahabharat, all his younger brothers very gladly cooperated. And we have example of Lord Ram also, right?
Yes,
Right?
Mataji.
Even Lord Ram?
Yes.
Yes?
Mataji. Yes,
Yes,
That
Mataji.
example.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So we have these examples where there is so much of cooperation, but actually, if you go back to the genealogy, that, okay, what is making them so, accepting of this kind of a hierarchy system? What is it that the elders of the family are doing that everyone is so cooperative of each other? They were consciously preparing. They were very aware. Okay, Prithu Maharaj is very aware that, okay, my time is up. I was supposed to rule only from this place to this time. Prabhupada gives one example and says modern politicians want to be in the office until the last day of their life. But that's not how saintly people live. So modern politicians, Prabhupada says this about many, many politicians in the world. In India, at the time of independence, he took so many names, and Prabhupada could take the names because he was personally there. But modern politicians want to be in the office until the last day of their life. This is not what a devotee of Krishna does. Okay. So if we haven't started planning, then start planning every day. That, okay, I need to be able to give more time. But planning, honestly, will only start if somebody has developed a relationship with the devotees. If there is no relationship, if there is no another footing available, like, okay, I'm going to retire, but what am I going to do after retiring? So if there is no footing available, then the person will not be so excited about cutting down in the material responsibilities and taking up more spiritual responsibilities. Okay, so if we are not excited, then the problem is not that there is no service. The problem is that I haven't been able to establish a very genuine relationship with the devotees yet, which is fine, because if the problem is there, solution is also there. One devotee asked in a class one time, sometimes, or most of the times, we don't feel like chanting. I know that chanting Hare Krishna is very good for me. I've heard it many times now. It's good, but I don't feel like chanting. So, Prabhuji, what can we do? Mani nahi karta. I don't feel like chanting. Yeah, how many of us can say? How many of us can vouch like this?
Yes,
I know, I've heard it. Oh, but I don't feel like doing it. So, the devotee who was giving class of this. Okay, what will you answer? Let me hear this. Put this question out. Somebody comes and says, "Oh, I know it is good for me, but still, I don't feel like doing it." I know, I've heard it many times. बहुत बार सुन लिया, कान पक गए सुन सुनकर. But feel like doing it. So what will you say? What will you say?
To do some seva.
Huh?
To do seva.
Deva? Okay, very nice.
Eat
What else?
prasadam. Eat prasadam.
Eat prasadam. Okay. What else?
If you are not chanting, then hear chanting.
Okay. Thank you. Very nice. What else?
Overcome the lethargy, Mataji, and indecisiveness.
Very comfortable with the lethargy. I'm very comfortable. You know why? Because you're saying I should overcome. Why? I should listen to you. I'm playing devil's advocate. Okay. I'm not trying to counter argue. All the answers given are very nice, but
Chanting, Mataji,
Mataji, nowadays there is a online chanting class that will motivate them. Online chanting class 5 to 7 that
Okay.
will motivate them.
Okay. Thank you.
Mataji, chanting is the only solution for that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So nice. Everyone is a preacher in this class. So the devotee was giving class was a 9-year-old boy. He was giving Srimad Bhagavatam class, and then one person, older person, going a student of college going student. This boy is in 4th grade. He's giving Srimad Bhagavatam class in Columbus, Ohio, and the student who asked him is in a college. Exactly same question, and then this boy answered, "If you don't have a mood, then pray for one," which I found was very powerful. You know, you're aware that you should do this, it's good for you, but you don't have that inclination, then pray for it. And so everyone, thank you. Everyone else was nice. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we need to prepare consciously. So these are the different parts of the world given. When I read this, my question was, then what is remaining for Vijitsava Maharaj to rule? Because the eastern part is given, the southern part is given, the western part is given, and the northern part is also given. So what is Vijitsava Maharaj ruling? Which we will disclose. It will be disclosed later in the chapter. And then over here, Vijitsava Maharaj is also addressed as Antardhan because he has this ability of not being seen at his will, just like the demigods, like Indra. That okay, at the time of Ritu Maharaj sacrifice, Indra became little insecure and he stole his father's sacrificial horse. How many times he stole? How many times he stole?
3 times.
Very nice. Somebody remembers. Thank you. Okay, so all the 3 times, Vijitsava Maharaj is able to see that Indra has come. One time he ran after him, the last time. But most of the time, he said, okay, you know, this is Indra. I can't really like say anything, but I can see him. Nobody else apparently could see him, but Vijitsava Maharaj can see Indra, and Indra knew that I've been seen, but he was very appreciative of Vijitsava Maharaj's respect. Indra is not an ordinary person. There is this verse, right? Ete chanchikalaha pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam, Indradi Vyakulam Lokam, Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So all these are expansions or plenary expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the only God is Krishna. And Krishna, who Krishna? Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, who actually kills the enemies of Indra. So Indra is not an ordinary person. Indra is a devotee of Lord. Krishna has taken very painstaking steps to rectify Indra many, many times. So Indra has performed many, many villain roles in Srimad Bhagavatam, but he is not like that. Okay, so he's very exalted devotee of Krishna. And Vijitsava Maharaj is aware of it, that Indra is actually indeed a devotee. So he respected his presence, even though which Prabhupada is writing here was a sentiment. Purposefully excused him due to sentiment only, even though Indra was acting wrongly. So anyhow, Indra got pleased with Vijitsava Maharaj and gave him the same mystic power of being able to disappear from the vision of general public. And that's why he's called Antardhan. Okay, so this is a heavy chapter, so we start slow. So we read about the genealogy of Pitu Maharaj, his son's oldest son is Vijitsava, and he's very affectionate towards his younger brother. The affectionate nature is not coming from the platform of sentimentalism, but is coming from the service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's very nicely giving the direction, everything in that direction to rule to each one of his younger brothers to help in the upkeep of the rulings. And then we are going to learn about, till verse number 7, we're going to learn about Maharaj Vijitsava's family life a little bit. So his wife name is Shikhandini, and then he has 3 good sons, and called Antardhan. Okay. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections? Am I audible?
Mataji,
Yes,
what solution you told to that problem? Like we know that chanting is very good, but still we don't have interest to do the chanting.
Yes, I said no, that the devotee answered, the 9-year-old boy he was giving Bhagavatam class answered that, pray for it, pray for the mood. Pray for the mood. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
It has to come from within. Krishna is not going to force his presence on any one of us. It has to come from within. One needs to, externally we can get help from devotees, but at the end of the day, every plane has to take its own flight. So each one of us have to actually measure or go through our own our own journey. We can help each other, but we are not responsible for each other. Okay, it has to come from within.
Okay. And so second question is, like you told that Vijitsava Maharaj distributed all the parts to his sons. So what is remaining for him?
Yeah, सारे आंसर मैं बताऊंगी. We are going to read. It's going to be disclosed in later chapter, in later part of the chapter, until verse 7. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hare
It's
Krishna,
not that
Mataji.
he's giving the ruling, but they're like cabinet ministers. His brothers are acting as cabinet ministers or chief minister for that particular direction. He still remains the president. Okay, Vijitsava Maharaj is still the emperor.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Any other corrections, reflections, realizations? Nobody? Okay, so if you haven't really started preparing to dedicate more time to your spiritual life, then maybe start praying to prepare. Start somewhere and not leave. There's different steps. I have seen devotees, they consciously prepare. They make their family members. There's a talk. They talk with different levels. Well, I've seen so many years in ISKCON. I've seen all levels now. Okay, so I've seen devotees who actually are getting married. So they go and announce that we would like to marry each other. And then when they want to have children, they go and announce we would like to have children now. So we are asking for blessings for each one of you. And then after that, when the children are growing, then they ask blessings for children, like to become the devotees. And then later in life, when they are preparing for retirement, they again come and ask. So you can actually see the whole 360-degree circle that we are planning. I'm planning to retire. And this is, so actually they come in a small community in temples. This is the beauty of Bhakti Vrikshas, that people are so close to each other that they can come and actually exchange one another's life with each other and take guidance, give guidance, and learn. So, so in Vidanagari, there is a devotee couple who's getting married, and then there's another devotee couple who's retiring. So both at the same time, you can see, and then you say, okay, where do you stand in this particular